WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. Hunt and Hill. Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. It's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Hunt and Hill. Charles Hannegriff sitting in for Hunt Palmer. He'll be out another day or two. Proud new dad. Yes, so you get me again today, not tomorrow, but Hunt will be back later on in the week as we welcome you into the Tuesday edition along with Jeremy Hill. And we start with the Saints game against the Dolphins last night. Miami won 20-3. The story coming into the game, of course, was the number of players that the Saints would be without, particularly at quarterback. So this became an exercise not in game planning or even the execution of some of the things that they were going to ask Ian Book to do. This, to me, the real interest in this game was, let's see if the Saints have anything in Ian Book. Let's try to make a positive out of this. If nothing else, you'll have an idea of where he is, and is he somebody that is going to be in the mix? And the answer was an emphatic no. I felt sorry for Ian Book last night. I really did. And I know that probably comes off as condescending, and I don't mean it that way. The young man accomplished a tremendous amount in college, won a lot of games. You know, he was drafted. He's been in that run, but he simply is not physically equipped to play quarterback in the NFL. He looked small, he looked weak, and he looked slow. And it's not like, oh, we're waiting for the guy to fill out no, I'm sorry. It's simply not there. This was no more than taking a rookie free agent off the street for the results that you got. And I know he was without a lot of personnel. Okay, he was without offensive tackles at times. 4, 5, 6, whatever it was. His receiving core is not very good, but you can look at the physical nature of the game, and it's simply past him. There's no other way to put it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Well, maybe no, it's not there.
Yeah, it's definitely not there. And I think you saw, especially Saints fans, saw on full display last night why the quarterback position is so valued, why you spend so much money on quarterbacks, because they make decisions. They touch the ball every single play. They have so much impact on your team's future and how you win games. And you trot a rookie quarterback out there that hasn't played a single down in this league, and it definitely looked like that. He just looked like he didn't belong at all. And I think we've seen kind of some rookie guys get thrust into action, and we've seen guys this year even have some big days, but it was nowhere near that. To me, it was the decision-making. There were some opportunities for him. I think the one that just made me lose my mind is he's a yard from out of bounds, and he takes a sack instead of throwing it away. And you put your team back in 2nd and 20, and it's like, dude, just throw the ball away. You got to give your team a chance. And a couple of those interceptions, he's just, rolling out and just throwing the ball in the coverage. It's just everything that you don't want to be seeing your quarterback doing, he was doing. And I know for me, I said it before the game, he doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to be able to run from these defensive linemen. You saw that as well. The escapability just was not there. The pocket presence was not there. And it just made it an uphill battle for the Saints. And I think the thing that put it over the top, and I said it yesterday, is 3rd down. The Saints go 0 for 12 on 3rd down. You're in 3rd and long time and time again, and he just couldn't deliver you from evil. And it was just a sad sight to see, man. That was a very poor performance, but you can't blame the kid, man. He probably wasn't supposed to play a snap this whole year, and you just get thrust into action in a primetime situation when you got the playoff on the line, and you saw what happened.
No, I don't blame Ian Book. I really don't. It is, and I don't even blame the Saints because they didn't draft Ian Book with the idea that he would play this year. Certainly not start. He was going to be a practice squad guy that they were going to bring along and see if a year, 2 years from now that they had anything. And he gets thrust into this position, and the frustration is huge because I sat right here at this desk with Jacob Hester for the great majority of the first 2 waves of COVID. He and I sat here and did shows many days where there were no games on. Yeah. I mean, we were talking to athletic directors from Central Arkansas, okay? No games, with golf and even just a little bit of golf, okay, and horse racing maybe. And we just said, man, just give us the games. Just give us the game. We don't care who's playing. Turns out we do care who's playing because the games that were being given up because of some of these restrictions simply are not. They're not to the standard that we're used to watching. I want to watch an NFL football game, but I don't want to watch Denver, New Orleans last year. And even though that benefited the Saints, I don't want to see some poor wide receiver thrust in there to do something that hasn't been trained to do, isn't equipped to do. It becomes an embarrassing situation all the way around. This wasn't quite that bad, but it was close. And you end up with these depleted teams. And I've read COVID restrict. I got to do COVID today because this is what this is about. Okay, I'd rather not, but this is what it's about. I've read COVID restrictions and COVID protocols until my eyes went sideways. All right. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you the difference between why the Saints are forced to play this game last night. The Denver Broncos were forced to play this game last year. This is not just a Saints homer thing, okay? Mm-hmm. The Saints benefited from this last year, and I thought it was a farce. Why a game can be moved to a Tuesday as it was last week, but this game cannot be. Yeah. And I understand that they have tweaked the protocols, and frankly, I'll be honest with you, I've kind of quit reading because I don't. First of all, it changes so often, mm-hmm. and I don't know how many guys on the Saints are vaccinated or not vaccinated. I don't know how many have tested positive until the day of, and then you go, oh, well. But some games have been moved. They went into the season with, staunch. We are not moving any more games. And then, well, you get another variant, and now you have to do that again. So the frustration for me, Jeremy, comes in to sitting here a year ago going, just give me a game, just give me a game. Yeah. All right, we gave you a game. Well, not that game.
Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
No, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. And I think for the NFL, the last thing they want is start losing viewership, start losing those sponsorship dollars, start losing those advertising dollars. And that's the road you're headed down. But this is a monster that nobody could have predicted. I think especially with these new variants coming out, it's a fluid situation as we've ever seen, but with just how this thing is taken on the country and taking on all these sports leagues. And I don't know. I don't think there's not a thing written in stone. Well, hey, if this happens and we're going to do this, it's just they're kind of just winging it.
Well, they have to, yeah, because it changes. It's changed so many times. I am a lifelong Saints fan. I was a Saints fan before I ever saw an LSU game because I could watch them on television, and I do this for a living. I'm going to watch every game pretty much from, that I can from start to finish. I got in front of my computer last night before I went to sleep to go look at the stats, and Ian Book had 135 yards. And I'm like, I don't remember 135 yards. I went back and looked into play-by-play, and he had a 56-yard pass to LaJordan Humphrey. And I'm like, oh, I know why I don't remember 135 yards, because I wasn't watching anymore by the time that play came up with 4 minutes to go in the game. What's a coaching staff to do? Went back and looked at the play chart. A lot of times when you get an inexperienced quarterback, you will have coaches pull back so conservative. In fact, there's a game you might remember that the head coach was so terrified of letting the quarterback throw that he gave the running back the ball for 214 yards against Iowa. You might remember the game, yeah. Jeremy?
Yeah.
Okay, because he simply was not going to let Anthony Jennings throw the football that day with a gun to his head, and he had you, so it's like, turn around. Well, you can't do that in the NFL, okay? I mean, you can't just run the football. You know what? Yeah, you can. Patriots did it to the Bills 3 weeks ago. Okay, so if you got Belichick, maybe. They actually tried to have some kind of balance in play calling. Mm-hmm. Look at first down. They threw it 12 times and ran it 9 on their first down plays last night. And before the game got past 2 scores, which felt like checkmate, okay, it was pretty much even. It was something like 8-7 before the game got, out of hand. So he tried. It's not like Peyton to do it. And you brought up the play with the sack. He did that at least twice that I remember. This is wholehearted, foolish play when you bevel back on a deep roll and nobody's open and you're running and you're about to get tracked down, you got to throw the ball away. Mm-hmm. I mean, all you have to do is throw the ball forward 10 yards, okay? He can do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
hope so.
and yet he fell short of even those benchmarks. So there's not a whole lot past that to analyze in this game from the Saints side. Alvin Kamara was, visibly frustrated. Yeah. When Wilkins took his towel, he retaliated, and of course they catch the second guy every time, so he gets flagged for that. But could you imagine what Alvin Kamara was thinking back there? He's like, man, I came into this league playing with Drew Brees. I came in this league playing with Michael Thomas. I came in this with a Mark Ingram that was still in his prime. And Ingram, God bless him, he's at the end. It's not that he's not playing hard. It's just he doesn't have the physical tools that he once had when the first time around when he and Kamara were at their best. And, you're looking around. I'm used to playing with Taron Armstead and Ryan Ramczyk and Cesar Ruiz. What was that last night?
Play bad.
My goodness. Okay, you one of the starters that's left over, and you're playing worse than some of the guys that they're pulling off the practice squad. You're a first-round pick. So I don't know that there's a whole lot on the New Orleans side. On the Miami side, I thought that Brian Flores had a perfect game plan. He went out there and said, I'm not going to ask Tua to do anything that is even remotely past what I think he's capable of. I can dink and dunk this thing. I think there was maybe one pass that stayed in the air more than 10 yards last night, and that's what I would have done. And it's not like they could run the ball at will against the Saints. They didn't. Mm-hmm. They hammered in there with Johnson and Lindsey as much as they needed to keep balance, and the rest of it was dink, 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 dink. And I give the Miami receivers credit because they got up the field, okay, mm-hmm. after these catches. They made yards after the catch. Tua ends up at, I think it was 7.8 yards per attempt last night. And I don't know that more than 2 or 3 passes stayed in the air more than 7 or 8 yards. So they did, even analytically, they doubted. I give Flores a lot of credit. The coach said, well, hey, the analytics say this. No, it's 4th and 1. I'm punting the football back to New Orleans because they can't move it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a coach adjusting to a game situation. Flores was like, the New Orleans Saints can't beat us tonight. We can beat us tonight. Mm-hmm. We go out here and turn the ball over and make a bunch of penalties and have a bunch of foolish, risky calls. No. Yeah. We're going to grind this thing out. We're going to win this game about 20-3, and we're not going to hang this as a video on how to do things. But tonight, that's how we're going to get out. That's how we're going to get to 8-7 tonight. Yeah. And they didn't get out of anything that was even remotely out of their comfort zone. They got the pick 6 at the beginning, and it was like an ace pitcher getting 2 runs in the first inning. Man, he's gonna make it stand up. You think I was hard to deal with before? Yep. Give me a 2-run lead, man. You ain't gonna see a fastball strike. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna frustrate you, and that's what the Dolphins did last night.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. And you get 29 rush attempts, and Tua only had 26 pass attempts. That's exactly what you want to have, especially in a road environment where Ian Book put no pressure on the opposing team. If the Saints could have just went up a score, if they could have just put any pressure on the Dolphins to have to open their playbook up, maybe it gives Tua an opportunity to get another turnover. Maybe your D-line can get after Tua. But like you said, when you're running the ball and mixing it and you're balanced, your D-line can't just go upfield and get after the quarterback. They have to read their run fits. They have to read it out. And it just was no pressure. And they won the time of possession. It was an old school Les Miles approach to a football game. We're going to run the ball as much as we humanly can. We're going to frustrate you. We're going to play good, solid defense. And if your quarterback can't put pressure on us, then it's going to be an easy route to a victory. And that's exactly what it was. At no point in that football game did I feel like maybe at halftime I thought when they missed that field goal, maybe the Saints can have a chance. But after that, man, he just made it an uphill battle for them to try to make that a football game the whole time.
They would have had to make some kind of unusual play on special teams, which their special teams were depleted. The 21 guys, I don't know how many of them were on the first units as far as special teams go, but it was a significant. I mean, just take JT Gray, the Pro Bowler, out of there, just right there, and you're going to see a significant difference. So it would have taken a defensive score, a turnover in the red zone that set them up at point-blank range, a punt return, a kickoff, something like that. And none of that was in the offing. So Saints fall 20-3, 7-8 on the season. So we don't want to see any more games like this. I mean, I don't want to see any more games like this, but we're going to. In fact, I got a pretty good idea that we're going to see a college game that looks a lot like this next Tuesday.
Oh, goodness.
That I'm not in any way looking forward to. Okay, but que sera. This is the world we live in right now. I got to ask you about what they're doing in Philadelphia, because they're going to extreme measures to make sure this doesn't happen. And then we'll get to that. We get back. We got college bowl game going on, Birmingham Bowl right now. Houston leads Auburn 10-3. That's in the second quarter. TJ Finley at the controls for the Auburn Tigers. Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt Palmer and Jeremy Hill. It's Hunt and Hill. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations, with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID test. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Coming on the last 2 minutes of the first half in the Birmingham Bowl. 5 bowl games today, as scheduled, in order, properly spaced out. You can go football from right now till probably well after midnight with Minnesota and West Virginia, if you so choose. Right now, Houston with a 10-3 lead and the football up near midfield. TJ Finley starting for Auburn today, 7 of 14, 88 yards in the first half. They had a first down inside the Houston 20 overturned. It was the right call. It was an incomplete pass, but it was ruled complete on the field originally. Houston has put up nearly 200 yards of offense here in this first half. Frankly, having watched this, kind of off and on here for the last hour, Houston probably should be up more than a touchdown, given the yardstick. Tank Bigsby is playing in this game, has 28 yards so far, and has 3 catches for 59 yards. So for a guy who was allegedly on his way out the door and may still be, who knows, he showed up and he's played. Isn't it sad that that's the story? Hey, the starting running back showed up and is playing and is actually playing pretty well. He's got 80-some-odd yards in the first half. That's a story. Guy showed up and played.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. This transfer portal thing is just taking its own head of its own, and you see kids coming back to their own school, and you see kids leaving. It's crazy, man. And I don't think it's going to get any better. I think it's emboldened some of these kids. They feel like they can do whatever they want, and there's no loyalty to their school. And with all the coaches leaving as well, there's no loyalty there either. So I think everyone's kind of just doing what's in the best interest of themselves. And for Tank, I don't know if he's going to come back. I don't know if he's going to stay at Auburn, but that's what college football is now. Kids can get up and leave and do whatever the heck they want, and that's going to be the story from here on out. And it's juicy for some people. Everyone wants to know the unknown and where's he going, what he might do, and I guess that's just going to take over from here on out.
When I look at Tank Bigsby, I see a guy who I think he's an NFL player. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's an NFL starter, but I think he's an NFL player. And I wonder where he's a sophomore, so where next year he would be better suited to display himself for the NFL than Auburn. Mm-hmm. Now, they don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Bo Nix is on the way, is in the transfer portal. Finley, in his playing time there, has been up and down. He's had some moments, but I can't guarantee you that they're not going to go get in the transfer portal and find somebody else in their recruiting class. I'm certainly not of the opinion that they're going to hand the job to TJ Finley next year. He'll compete and maybe he'll win the job. But if you're Tank Bigsby, where else? Auburn, that offense, they run the football. I mean, they showcase him, and unless they come up with their version of Joe Burrow, it's going to be a run-based offense. So I don't know. I mean, I've got a chance to show out against Alabama, LSU, A&M. I don't know. Seems like a decent place to play football for me. Maybe he's had a change of heart with what we're seeing today.
Yeah, that's the thing that blows my mind is, and I get there's some situations across the country where you lose a coach or there's some stuff going on. Maybe you're not getting playing time, but the thing that kills me is you're a starting player on an SEC roster. What else out there could you want? Like, what more could you need? Like, that's what you went to the school for. That's why you committed there. You wanted to earn the job. You wanted to get opportunities to play, and you get that. What else are you looking for out there? That's what the question, you would have to ask these kids. But, to me, if I earn a starting job in the SEC, that's really what you went there for. So, I don't know. I guess that's just what college football is now.
I understand, and I'm waiting for just the mass exodus of good, elite players from Group of Five schools.
Mm-hmm.
If Nick Saban took the Sun Belt all-conference team and says, goes down the list, we need a tight end. Give me the one from App State. Okay. He's the best one in the Sun Belt. Give me that guy. We need a safety. Give me the one from UL Lafayette. He's the best one. Give me that guy. Get on the phone, call them, and that's the end of the story. But I never expected that it would be, let me go see if I can find the best guy at Auburn. Or I can go find the best guy at LSU. I mean, Jimbo Fisher was sitting in his office going, what are we going to do at quarterback next year because Calzada is leaving, and Calzada really wasn't all that good anyway. Like, hey, I'll go get the guy at LSU. What?
Yeah.
Go get the guy at LSU.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Nick tried to warn us all. He tried to warn. He's like, look, I don't know if this is a great idea for college football. I get some of these situations. Some of these kids need to go elsewhere and see the grass is greener on the other side. But you created a monster, and Nick, the savvy guy that he is, the guy that constantly evolves, the guy that sees the landscape for what it is. He's attacked it no better than anyone else in this country. You go snag a Jameson Williams from Ohio State.
Ohio State.
It doesn't stop.
Not Ohio University, Ohio State. Give me that guy.
Oh, man. And you take Eli Ricks from us, man. It's never ending with him. And I see, I think Shannon Sharp said it best for me. It's like, Nick doesn't have to do much. Just lay it out on the table. Look, you come to Alabama, this is what you're going to do. You're going to play for national championships. You got to give yourself a great opportunity to go to NFL. I mean, how do you argue against that? And now you got the transfer portal, which is just like free agency, and there's no salary cap. Like, he can sign whoever the heck he wants. Like, there's no end to it.
It's not even against the rules anymore. You just get the NIL money, and you're ready to go. I'm glad you brought up that Saban said that at the beginning of what was the birth of the transfer portal. He said it in no uncertain terms. He goes, do what you want. This is going to benefit us, meaning Alabama, not the Southeastern Conference. This is going to benefit us. We're going to take advantage of this rule. And now he's taken the very best players. Listen, say what you want about Eli Ricks, but if you lined up LSU's roster 1-85 at the beginning of this season, Ricks was in the top 10, maybe in the top 5. 100%. All right, as far as just straight up ability, Ricks was up there. And at the beginning of the season, give me that guy. Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's got 2 other 5-star receivers that are going to be high picks. But when Jameson comes in, it's, okay, the 3rd best receiver at Ohio State might be our best receiver this year. Now, if it would have been 2 years ago, it would have been, hey, listen, we got Jerry Jeudy, we got Ruggs, we got Waddle. We don't need you. This year they needed him, okay? Next year it might be an offensive tackle that they need or a linebacker, and he's just going to go cherry pick what he wants. And if you're right, the recruiting pitch, you were recruited. Give me what were the best lines that you got? What were the most persuasive lines? Because what you're saying about Saban, Barry Switzer was the first guy I ever heard say this. When Oklahoma was dominating back in the late 70s and into the 80s, he'd go into a recruit's room and he said, okay, son, here's the deal. If you come to Oklahoma, we're going to play in nationally televised. That's what national television thing. We're going to play in nationally televised games. We're going to play for a national championship. And if you don't come to Oklahoma, we're going to play in nationally televised games, and we're going to play for a national championship. And all of this goes on whether you come or not. Would you like to be a part of this? And, well, that worked to the tune of probably winning 85, 88% of their games when Switzer was there. Saban can say the same thing. You know what? We're going to play off next year whether you come or not. You want in? Yeah. Okay. Sign here. Practice starts at 7 tomorrow. And that's the end of the discussion.
Yeah. And I think I heard a quote from a Texas A&M player, and to me, this is why the landscape of college football is the way it is, and that's why Alabama is the way it is. He said, he tweeted, I think it was the Marvin Lill, the D tackle he declared for the draft. He said, I've always dreamed of beating Alabama. And Alabama said, you don't have dreams of beating anybody. We're just here to win SEC championships and win the college football playoffs, and that's just what it is. And I think for me, recruiting pitches, I've heard them all. I remember when Auburn was buzzing. That was my senior year in high school. Cam had that magical season, and they were preaching family. Be a part of the Auburn family. And then I heard USC, man, we got the best back-end boosters. We're a private university, yada, yada, yada. Alabama said, look, we just win national championships. That's just what we do.
You march them into the football facility and march them past the trophies. It's a powerful argument. I did have one guy, we were watching the Saints game last night, and he says, if Alabama wins and Saban will have the record by himself, maybe he'll retire. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, if I knew that was the case for the first time in my life, I would be a huge Alabama fan. I'd root for him. if them winning the national championship gets rid of that guy, retire, I'll root for him. I'll put a red shirt on. I'll put an elephant on my head, and I'll holler that term that does not ever come out of my mouth. Okay, if that was the consequences of it, that he's gonna leave. Hey man, give me my Alabama gear. I'm all in.
Look, I'll quote Saban here. It ain't happening, so quit asking.
Right,
he's not.
Exactly.
He's not leaving anytime soon.
No,
I think that's the thing. They even put they've tried everything to stop this dude. They put the dead periods in. They said, look, you're recruiting too much. All right, we got to put some dead periods in. They tried to put the portal. They've done everything to slow this guy down. He's just a different breed, man. It's as much as I hate giving him credit, you got to, man. It's just we've never seen anything like this. And I think in the modern college football, with everything going on with technology and the way we have for him to still be doing what he's doing, 10 plus years later. Got to tip your cap to him. It's just a shame that we got to deal with it every year in our own division, but it is what it is, man. So I see Saban on a wheelchair when he's 80 just going up and down that sideline. I don't know how he hangs it up. I think he's going for the gusto here. He's trying to stack up 10, 12 of those things, and the way it's going now with this transfer portal, I don't see it stopping.
This has turned into a depressing segment.
Yeah, it's really bad, man. It's really bad.
Let's break and try to do something else. Houston and Auburn going to the half, 10-3. Cougars lead it. Auburn will get the ball to start the second half. This is Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Holding down the middle of the day. This is Hunt and Hill. Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, reminding you they now have 8 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. And if you're looking for that COVID test for holiday travel, or you have a holiday event coming up, they're the place for you, as well as a flu shot. It's starting to creep up here during flu season, so if you need that shot, make sure you get that. They now have some available through December. You can find more information on their website, patientplusuc.com. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
What do you do during a bowl game halftime that lasts half an hour? You got some experience with it. You needed to go rest in Tampa. I mean, I'm sure you were tired. These half-hour bowl halftimes.
Oh, yeah. I remember those bowls. It's just weird because you take off like 3 weeks and then you got to jump back in, try to get in like crazy football shape and try to get ready for a game. And it's just a different dynamic. And I think for us, we didn't have our quarterback and Met was having a year that year. And, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot on the running back said, David, hey, we got it done. The Les Miles special, I call it.
Do you remember the last pass Mettenberger ever threw?
Yep, yeah. I do. I was on the field that play, threw a beautiful ball to Jarvis Landry. Jarvis just went over and dunked on someone's head one-handed.
How did Landry catch that ball?
Dude, he got,
to this day, I think it went through the defender.
Yeah, he got mitts for hands. That's how he caught that ball. Jarvis is just one of the greater teammates I've ever had. Just his energy and passion, his leadership, but then just that dog in him. He has a different type of dog when he goes out there and plays, and it permeates throughout the team. And, yeah, that was one of the more sensational. I don't know, man. Can't really point to many more catches in LSU history that was more impressive than that.
So with Landry, there was another catch that he made against Arkansas the previous year.
Yep.
Center of the back of the end zone. You remember the play?
Yep, one hand, back of the end zone. That was a beautiful catch, but I think the one the next year because
I do too.
It was over as a defender, and it was just that was beautiful. It sucks Matt got hurt on that play, but it was a beautiful play.
Yeah, we remember it because of just the unlikelihood of the catch, but also because it was Mettenberger's last. Beckham, I don't know that Beckham had any better catches than that at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
The catch with the Giants against the Cowboys in prime time, that put Odell on the map nationally, but I don't know that he had any better catches than Jarvis did.
He had an impressive one in the Outback Bowl down the sideline. He had a full extension one with the one hand, but man, that Jarvis catch, that was different. That was definitely different.
Well, I do remember the first time that Beckham ever caught the ball one-handed on a kickoff when he was returning kickoffs. Yeah, and he just very nonchalant, just kind of like he was picking up a glass off the table, just and it's like, did he just do that on purpose? And then he started doing it a lot, and you guys were like, we're not. He does it every day in practice. We've seen this a million times, so you had to know what kind of hands he had. We got both of those guys.
Yeah, both of them. I think everyone knew, and I think for me, I got to the team about like 5 or 6 months after those dudes, but it blew me away just how much work they actually put in, how much they actually worked on those catches. They're sneaking into the indoor facility after hours, getting on the jugs machines and they're just working at it. They work at it every day. They work on the one-hand catches. You see them pregame. They're working on the one-hand catches. Obviously, you're not going to get many opportunities, but the opportunities you do have, you feel like you have all the confidence and capability in the world of going and make those plays and make those catches, because I've seen it time and time again. I still go back and watch that clip they put up with them at practice, just doing it over and over. It's like Jarvis makes one, Odell makes one, Jarvis. It was insane. It was a beauty to play with those guys, and we did a little damage in the SEC. Wish we could have got the big one done, but we still had a lot of fun.
I got to ask you about this Philadelphia story, because with what has happened to New Orleans, what happened to Denver last year, what has happened several times to other teams this year, as far as we don't have any quarterbacks left. Mm-hmm. The Eagles are now keeping their quarterbacks in separate rooms in the complex. Okay, all three quarterbacks, Hurts, Minshew, and Reed Sinnett is the third string quarterback. They are completely. I hate to use the word quarantine, because they're not quarantined outside the building. They're just not allowed to have any interaction with their teammates during meetings and in the building and stuff like that. Okay, you were in the NFL for quite a while. How do you prepare for a game when your quarterbacks are down the hall and the rest of the team is in the – I mean, at some point you have to go out to practice, right?
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing with all these protocols that they're kind of like pulling out of their rabbit hat. It's like, okay, we're separating for this hour and 30 minutes, but then the next hour and 30 minutes, I'm going to be around everyone. I'm going to be in the locker room with everyone. I'm going to be at practice with everyone. I'm going to be in team meetings with everyone. So it's like, I guess this works, but it's to me, it's like, I don't know. I think we're all trying to figure this thing out, but you got to do what you got to do. But I don't know if that's going to solve your end-all, be-all. But I do know why they probably did it, the contact tracing thing and the protocols. It's just keeping guys separate. But, I mean, you're going to be around your teammates. There's no way to avoid that.
Yeah, but, you know, they're keeping the three of them in separate rooms. It's kind of like the president, the vice president. If they're in the same spot together, the Speaker of the House has got to be somewhere else so they don't like blow up the building, and then all of a sudden you're down to the Secretary of Agriculture as the president of the United States. Did you see the show Designated Survivor?
Yes, I did. I didn't finish it, but I definitely saw the first probably 10 episodes.
It's an interesting concept, because every year for the State of the Union, they have to leave one member of the cabinet behind in case somebody blows up the Capitol. That's kind of what this is. It's like no two quarterbacks in the same place. Okay, yeah. You guys can't room together on the road. You can't go to the same meeting rooms. You can't. So my thing is, how do you practice?
Yeah, I mean,
because you do have to go out to the practice field at some point.
That's my point. It's like, yeah, you can do all that for that little time period. I guess you're lowering the chances. I don't know how many percents that is, but you're going to be right back with your teammates in the locker room. Going to be right back on the practice field with them. It's unavoidable. You're playing a team sport. I can see if this was tennis or something, but this is football. You got to be around your teammates. You got to give handoffs to running. Like, it's just no way to avoid being around the players.
The OC is trying to have a quarterbacks meeting in three different areas. So he's got his paper, he's got his clipboard. He's like, all right, Jalen, you like this? Yeah, we're comfortable in that format. Yeah, good. Somebody go down the hall and see what Gardner Minshew thinks about this, because we won't put this in our third down packages. That's a hell of a way to get ready for a football game, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think the only way I could possibly think is when I was on the Raiders for a couple weeks there, everything was on Zoom. So we were doing our team meetings from the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably what they're doing. They're probably jumping on a Zoom call together and going over everything. So
they're holding their meetings in the practice bubble. Not ordinarily you'd be in a regular auditorium style room, and instead they're having the team meetings in the bubble so they can spread them out. This is what hey, this is the third down package.
Yeah, it's goofy.
But if you don't do that, then they say, well, you know what? You're going to end up with Garrett Gilbert playing quarterback or Ian Book playing quarterback. And I don't even know if the Saints did anything wrong as far as following the protocols. My guess is that they didn't, because the league has always had an affinity for finding the Saints if they so much as sneeze in the wrong direction. You'll excuse the expression. I mean, so if the Saints, if Goodell thought that Sean Payton had so much as used the wrong turning lane on Airline Highway, he'd send him a fine. So since they didn't fine him, I guess they're following all this stuff, and they still end up in the situation that they did last night.
Yeah, I think with that thing what the Eagles are doing, they're just probably trying to find a loophole in the protocols to, if the quarterbacks weren't together, then technically if one guy is positive, then all of them are out because they were around each other. I think that's probably the loophole they're trying to go for.
That's a fun way to prepare for a game, right?
I mean, look, they got to do something.
In 30 different spots in the training facility.
Yeah, they got to do something because they're still in it. They're still in it. So the last thing they want to do is screw this up and not give themselves a chance to get to the playoffs. So, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But this is as goofy as I could think of. And, hey, I guess when you're running out of options, you're seeing the Saints tried out Ian Book, and he has a 2.4 QBR. You're like, no, we don't want that.
Eagles actually, according to the power rankings and their remaining schedule, have a 65% chance of making the playoffs. So there's, they're in a very good position here. I kind of feel about Philadelphia like I feel about New Orleans. There's things you like about the team. Can they get in the playoffs and beat one team? Yeah. Can they get in the playoffs and win 3 games? No. But why not? Why not take, I guess, everything you can do to try to get yourself in position to do that? You just have to balance it, and you say, well, we're keeping these guys separate so they don't get ruled out of the game. At what point is there diminishing returns of preparing for the game? Because what good does it do to have all these guys eligible if they haven't been able to put in the prep time? It's got to be the most challenging thing for a coach that you could, short of being relocated completely out of your building like they were last year. Every day it would be something new. Yeah, it is. Some kind of different way.
Yeah, it's so fluid. And I think I wouldn't be shocked if other teams start practicing this, especially teams who are really, they really need their quarterbacks. Like I always say, it's a quarterback-driven league. Those guys that get paid the big bucks for a reason. You lose that guy, and then everything goes to crap. So you got to do what you got to do, but this is an interesting way to prepare for a football game.
We'll take a break here on Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge with Hunt and Hill.
Sports betting is coming to Louisiana, and there's no better place to get in on the action than on the FanDuel Sportsbook. To celebrate, FanDuel is giving you $100 in free site credit when you register early. That's right. Register and verify now, and you receive a free $100 bonus when we're live. It's easy to use, easy to register, easy to deposit, easy to find your bet. Every day there's super big boosts on the weekend, and if you don't like the odds before the game, there's live betting as well on the app. FanDuel Sportsbook is safe, secure, and 100% legal and regulated. The app is easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great offers when you win, and you'll be paid as little as 2 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and register now to get a free $100 in free site credit. 21 and plus and present in LA. Bonus issue non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel accepts its real first money sports wager in Louisiana. Unique user identity verification required. Offer ends on the go live date. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm here with Bradley Cairo with Cajun Ready Mix. Bradley.
I had to leave my home, and I never knew where I was going next. But then you came along.
There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys.
We recap Saints Dolphins on Monday Night Football, go out to Las Vegas to talk to Rafael Esparza of MyBookie.ag, and a whole lot more. Early line, 2 to 3 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
So a little bit of intrigue with some of the games today. We're watching Houston and Auburn. That's a former LSU quarterback out there. It's a pretty good Houston team this year. They were certainly not outclassed by Cincinnati in that American Championship game, and now they have the lead at Auburn. So some of the other games today, UCLA and NC State tonight. Ordinarily, this wouldn't be a game that we would spend a whole lot of time talking about, but I am curious what you think about how UCLA's season turned out after they played LSU in the opener. They finished 8-4, finished really strong in their last three games. Blowout wins against Colorado, USC, and Cal. I understand that's not the Patriots, Bills and the Vikings, but they did get on a roll late. They finished 8-4. Probably the game that defined their season, Jeremy, was when they played Oregon and came up a field goal short in that one. They got thumped by Utah, who I think proved without any doubt that they were the best team in the league that year, but UCLA was closer to the top than I would have thought going into the year.
Yeah, they were. I think before the year, I had little to no respect for the Chip Kelly-led UCLA Bruins and the way they stormed the field against us and was doing the gritty and dancing and celebrating and gallivanting around. I thought, they meant business this season. I thought they'd be, 9, 10, 11-win team, and they had some really close calls this year, some one-possession tough losses. I think to Fresno State, they had a tough loss to Fresno State, and then to me, I think the inexcusable loss was to Arizona State. You can't get ran off the field by a bad Arizona State team, but It's okay season. I think they did definitely better than I expected going into the season. But watching that LSU game, just with my LSU bifocals on, I thought we would be a lot more talented team and have a lot more wins and be a lot more respectful throughout the season. But that's why you fire the coaching staff. It just wasn't a very good product out there on the field. And I think UCLA was okay. It was they were a good team. They had some really tough games, but I think the best word to put, I'd say average. I think when you look at the totality of it, not a team that's got a challenge for a Pac-12, not a team that's going to go to a college football playoff, and that's just kind of what it was for me.
They finished kind of where I thought they would after they beat LSU. They managed to keep the quarterback upright the entire season, and he's playing in the game. Lo and behold, Thompson Robinson is actually going to play in this game. When they hired Chip Kelly, they hired a guy that they thought was going to be innovative, that was going to be game-changing. And it turns out he was game-changing a decade ago, but no longer is. Now he's just one of the other guys. He's a good coach, not a bad guy, but is he that guy that was at Oregon that was just setting offensive records and doing things that nobody had ever seen? No, they haven't evolved to that standpoint. Leaving the thing 8-4, 9-3, yeah, that's about right. But they were playing really well down the stretch. Both teams at fairly full strength for a COVID year. That is the Holiday Bowl, which, by the way, they're playing at Petco Park for the first time. They're playing it down in San Diego. Auburn, big play to open here in the second half. They're down inside the 20-yard line, trailing 10-3. Hour number 2 straight ahead. Hunt Hill, 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge.
This year, we're letting our customers speak for us.
When I need an extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID test. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, holding down the middle of the day. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Hunt and Hill. Now on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hour number 2, Hunt and Hill. I'm Charles Hanniger sitting in for Hunt Palmer. Who I just found out via Twitter is 1 day away from having the fam leave the hospital and go home. So that's good.
Okay, there we go, Hunt.
Everybody's doing well, and they'll be home tomorrow, and he will be back here on Thursday, I believe, as I understand it. You get new company tomorrow. I'm out tomorrow, but Hunt will be back, we believe, on Thursday. Good Lord willing. We watched a game last. I've been thinking about this question. I don't want to. I wanted to get you just your raw reaction to this, so I didn't ask you about it before the show. Next week, LSU is likely going to go into a game with no scholarship quarterbacks, okay, barring some last-minute miracle. Who would have been the best quarterbacks for LSU that didn't play quarterback? What guys did you play with that if they had been trained at that from the beginning of their high school careers, not to say you can't do it once you get to college, if they had been quarterbacks all through high school and stayed with it, because a lot of high school quarterbacks became other positions. Okay, Corey Webster is a great example. There's many. Spencer Ware was enough. Mm-hmm. But who would have been the best if you guys would have been in this position? Okay, and it said, okay, we're taking all the quarterbacks off your team. You guys got to figure out a way to do this with somebody else. Who would it have been? Who would have been the best?
That answer is easy. Odell Beckham Jr.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. I'm sure you guys can look it up on YouTube. He had a couple beautiful passes in the NFL. Touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley, just ripped the 55-yard pass. But for me, I'm not even talking about the NFL career. Give you a little insight, a little Les Miles practice story here.
This is what I came for today. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we're playing Texas A&M, and of course, the talk of the universe, the talk of the country is Mr. Money Manziel himself. So doing a little scout team. So that entire week, my boy Odell got to go to my boy Greg Stringfellow, get the whole gear, the Texas A&M 2 jersey, the visor, the half sleeves, the whole nine. And we had a period at the end of practice every day that whole week. Odell just runs the show. Got to run around like a chicken with his head cut off in the backfield and just be an athlete and just toss the ball over the yard. And we didn't run any routes. It was just, y'all just go out there and just run whatever that crap you want to run. And that was how we got our defense ready to play against Johnny Manziel. And Odell actually did an amazing job of it. Made some incredible throws, juking people, just running around all over the place. And it was pretty fun. That was one of the more fun weeks of practice we ever had. And we handled business against A&M. Manziel probably didn't have a day either year we played him. So I think that was a big part of it. Getting to tackle or chase around a guy that's way faster and way more athletic, it got our defense ready to go against Manziel.
So they allowed tackling on Beckham to the ground?
No.
I was about to say.
You just got to get two hands on him.
Because if you got two hands on Manziel, you weren't guaranteed to bring him to the ground. He was a slippery little sucker. I mean, he was hard to catch. Yeah. But LSU probably did the best against Johnny Manziel of any team that he played twice in the 2 years that he played there, because the monumental game where he and A&M upset Alabama in Tuscaloosa, that'll forever be Manziel's signature game. Yeah. But the next time they played them in College Station, I want to say Alabama won that game like 59-44 or something crazy like that. It was Manziel. They lost, but Evans had a monster day. Manziel had a monster day, and I just remember Saban's face at midfield as he was, coming to the middle of the field to shake hands after the game. It's just like, man, I don't want to see you no more. I had enough of you.
Yeah, Manziel had 464 passing yards, 5 touchdown passes.
In a losing effort.
And 98 rushing yards in a college game.
And what was the final?
49-42.
49-42.
Alabama.
It was one of those crazy games. So that's really what we're saying. Odell Beckham would have been my first choice, although I have seen a couple of plays in the NFL where Jarvis Landry has thrown and left-handed, because I remember the first time I ever saw him throw a ball going, I didn't know he was left-handed. But he throws a fairly good ball for a left-handed wide receiver. Not bad.
Oh, yeah. No, Jarvis has a cannon. I think people can look this play up as well. Jarvis threw a touchdown pass to Odell, actually, against the Dallas Cowboys. Just ripped like a 50-yard touchdown pass. So it was a tight spiral right on the money.
Now, why don't I remember that?
Yeah, you gotta look it up. It was an amazing pass. I think they ran the Cowboys off the field that day, but Odell had that reverse touchdown. He had like a 50-yard touchdown run, and then Jarvis threw him a touchdown pass that day, and it was a beautiful touchdown pass. He actually had to squeeze it into a window. The safety was coming over to make a play, and he had to rip it in there, and he threw a beautiful ball. So yeah, I would probably go Jarvis number 2, and number 3 I go with my boy Russell Shepard. My boy Russell could play a little QB as well too.
Well, he was supposed to throw one pass. If they could have thrown one pass in the entire time he was here, the number 1 quarterback in the country coming in one time. Okay. Yep. I'm not saying the guy's got to go out there and be Johnny Unitas. Just let him throw one time. All right, so those are kind of the obvious ones. I wanted to, if they were in this position, I'm not talking about guys that have got to make a ton of throws, but let's just say the 11 team had all their quarterbacks yanked off the team for a COVID protocol. Okay, what if Les had gone in there and said, you know what, most dynamic player I got on the field is Tyrann Mathieu. I'm just going to give him snaps, okay? I'm not going to ask him to throw the ball. I'm just going to put him in the backfield, give him an extra blocker, and say, do what you do.
Yeah, you could have won an old school Houston nut and just have a little wildcat with the honey badger back there. I think we all saw that punt return against Georgia, just his make-you-miss ability, both of them. The Arkansas, you can just go on and on. His make-you-miss ability was insane. His, start and stop was just unbelievable to get to see it in person, on the field. That dude was a different type of athlete. He's not going to blaze you with 4.2 or 4.3 speed, but his short area quickness was just unbelievable. He was able to get in and out of his cuts and really make people miss. I think the Badger could have did a good job as well, especially if you just give him the wildcat and just give him the ball and tell him to go.
And you would have asked him to throw maybe 3 passes the whole game. Just these 3 passes we're going to work on in practice. We're not going to ask you to air the ball out 35 yards down the field. We're just going to give you some little simple things to catch him off guard. I wonder what he would have done because his ball skills are so good.
Yeah, I think he would have did a great job. I think some guys are just different type of athletes. You can put them in any type of situation. I feel like Tyrann, if you would have put him at running back, if you would put him at slot receiver, they put him at safety, nickel back, outside corner. Some guys can just do it all. I think he's one of those dudes.
Okay, so since you brought up the word athlete, I'm going to ask you about one other guy. And I don't know if he can throw the football at all, but has there been a better athlete, just pure D athlete come through here than Patrick Peterson?
He actually played quarterback in high school. So
he did.
Yeah, so that's you can't point to none. And his little brother actually went to my high school, so I've been knowing Patrick for a very long time and just watching him up close. There's a story, it's like a LSU folklore story, but guys were talking to Patrick, just talking crap to him, like, hey, Patrick, you're not the fastest. Like, dude, what are you doing? He has this big backpack on, these baggy Jordan shorts on, big T-shirt, tennis shoes on, goes on the field, just right out of classroom, runs a 4.3, just no cleats or nothing on, and just
in tennis shoes.
Yeah, in tennis shoes. So he's a different dude. That dude was a different cat, and yeah, I definitely think he could have definitely been a quarterback too.
Just some of the unbelievable athletes. Those two came to mind. Older LSU fans will remember Mike Miley, who was one of in the 70s, who obviously was one of the best athletes to come through LSU at the time. and he was a multiple sport guy before he passed. I think going back to the '80s, who was the best athlete on that team in any of those SEC championship years? Was it Dalton Hilliard? I don't think would have. It was a terrific player for LSU. Wendell Davis was at that time LSU's all-time leading receiver, but those guys weren't in the athlete class that Peterson and Matthew were. Later on, they didn't have the straight line speed. They didn't have the moves. I mean, they were great football players, but this level of athletes. So you go through all of these other quarterbacks, the Corey Websters, the Spencer Wares, these guys that became different position players at the college level, and you say, well, hey man, look, if this had happened in another year. So we get to Jontre Kirkland, who at this point looks like he is going to be the quarterback on Tuesday. And he was terrific down at Lutcher. Look, every year I go down and I speak to the quarterback club down at Lutcher. They do a hell of a thing down at Lutcher. You want to talk about community support for a school. They have a dinner every Tuesday night during football season. They make a jambalaya. They sell it out of the cafeteria as a fundraiser. All of the guys in the quarterback club come in and play. They bring in guest speakers. They have a raffle. And they do it every Tuesday night. They raise a hell of a lot of money, and they are behind that team. I've gone down there every year for the last 7 or 8 years. Love Jontre Kirkland down there, okay? They just think the world of him and, favorite son. Well, it hasn't always worked out for Jontre here. He's made some plays, but, there's been a lot of times where he just got caught in a numbers game, and so he's been a good player here, but he's never been a star. Here's the most unlikely scenario for Jontre Kirkland maybe that we could have ever imagined when he signed out of Letcher High School to come to Baton Rouge and say, in the bowl game in your last year, you're going to be the starting quarterback. Now, you're going to be a wide receiver up until that point. For 5 years, you're going to be a wide receiver until the last game, you're going to be a quarterback. He's got to go back to all of those things that. And I know he's run some scout team quarterback when they have faced mobile quarterbacks before in his career here, but this is the first time. So now he's the guy. So what's realistic to expect from him?
Whew. Wait, so it got confirmed? No Matt O'Dowd show?
No. I'm just.
Oh, just hypothetically.
I'm giving you.
Hypothetical.
No, anything can happen between now and Tuesday. But I think if they were kicking off at 4:30 this afternoon, it would be him for at least some of the game.
Yeah, that's just a whole different thing. I think the equivalent for me, it's like if we lost Kevin Minner, we lost, Quan Alexander. It's like, Jeremy, look, we're light at linebacker. We need you to play linebacker this week. I'd be like, what? Like, what are we calling? What are the blitz? What are the gaps do I have? Like, it's your thinking is just a whole different level at the quarterback position. I think it helps. We've seen guys like Ryan Tannehill go from receiver to quarterback and, do an okay job, but it's not easy. It's a lot easier said than done. Everything is just totally different. You got reads now. You got to, have pocket presence. You got to be smart with the ball. It's just all things that you just aren't thinking for 5 years or 4 years on campus. Now all these things are thrusting. Now you're on the spotlight. You're in the bowl game. Tiger Nation's got to be watching. It's tough, man. It's a tall task.
Shame on us. We missed one of the most obvious ones. If you had Kevin Faulk.
Oh yeah,
you go run the option like he did at Karen Crow and say, let me see what we can get done here.
Oh yeah,
Faulk was a tremendous high school quarterback. Not that he threw the ball all over the place, but good luck catching him.
Yeah. Faulk's it's a different dude, man. That's probably to me. I know people love Billy Cannon, they love them some Leonard Fournette, but I gotta go Faulk, man. He's probably the one. The eye test everything.
How old were you when Kevin started here? 95.
4 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old.
So do you remember, like, later in his career when you were 7, 8 years old, do you remember watching him on television, or do you just see the highlights?
I remember him from his Patriot days. Like, that's when I first kind of started, following football. And then I remember from his Patriots days. And as I got older, I got to watch some of his highlights from high school, some of his highlights from the LSU days. But I definitely remember him from his Patriot days, and I was actually cheering against him pretty hard. I wanted my boy Marshall Faulk to win the Super Bowl. I loved me some Marshall Faulk when I was younger, but the Patriots got it done, and my boy Faulk was in there. Both Faulks, I should say.
The reason I ask is, I think we all have a tendency to the guys we grew up with, the guys we first saw play the position that were great, the first great players, we think of them as the best ever. Okay, I have to have overwhelming evidence before I will say that there is a quarterback better than Roger Staubach, because that's who I grew up watching, and I just thought Staubach hung the moon, okay?
Yeah.
And he's a Hall of Famer and a Super Bowl MVP, but I acknowledge that Montana was better, that Brady has been better, that maybe Unitas was better. But for me, I mean, you have to have a lawyer go to court and lay out 99 reasons why your guy's better than Staubach, because Staubach was my guy, because that's who I grew up watching. And I was wondering if it was like that for you with Kevin Faulk. But most of his LSU career was before you were watching, so you were a Patriot guy, or just watching the Patriots.
Yeah, just watching him on the Patriots. I wasn't a huge Kevin Faulk fan growing up. I liked some other running backs back then. I liked some Marshall Faulk back then. I actually like Sean Alexander. Actually, I love watching Sean Alexander watch ball. I kind of like the bigger backs as I was growing up, because I was always kind of the bigger kid in my class, and I always played running back my whole life. So I kind of like the bigger backs, the bigger back variety.
I lost all of any love I might have ever had for Sean Alexander when he drug LSU for 300 yards in Tiger Stadium. I think it was 297 or 298, whatever it was. Any type of affection I might have had for him went out the window that night. And I'll never forget what Gene Stallings said during the week. He said, "We don't know if Alexander's going to play because in practice he won't block anybody, and we don't feel comfortable with him in our pass protection. So if he can't block, we just don't think he can handle a blocking." And Stallings, true to his word, didn't ask Sean Alexander to block one person that night. All he did was just hand him the ball, and he ran over, around, through LSU that night. So no, not one of my favorites. Not one of my favorites at all. We'll take a break here. Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Serving up the latest from the sports world. It's Hunt and Hill. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? T-Bob here from
What is Safex?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. Everything keeps changing. I'm sure glad you're here.
There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota.
Insurance Network of Louisiana. Mario and I, filling in for Matt, will recap Saints-Dolphins Monday Night Football. Join us 3 to 6, AFR, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
10-6, Houston leads Auburn. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter at the Birmingham Bowl. It's all about motivation for these bowls. When they call this thing, was it the Compass Bowl before it was just the Birmingham Bowl, I think? They were running back for Pittsburgh. We were watching, and Pittsburgh had to win their last game of the season to get bowl eligible, and they'd been to the Compass Bowl twice the previous 2 years. And so they won the game, and was it James Conner? Might have been James. I don't remember. Anyway, he gets on the post game on the field with the reporter, and he's like, "You're bowl eligible. How's it feel?" He's like, "Man, this is great. As long as we don't have to go to Birmingham." They sent him to Birmingham. Let's just say we bet against them that day because they did not want to be there. So we always look for motivational spots in these games, and I think I found one later on today in the Liberty Bowl when Mississippi State plays Texas Tech, because of course this is where Mike Leach used to coach. And he was making jokes early in the week, like, "Yeah, I think Texas Tech still owes me some money. Like they owe me one last check or whatever." Mississippi State was actually doing some decent things at the end of the year. They beat Kentucky, they beat Auburn. It was a competitive Egg Bowl, kind of got away from them a little bit, but with a very good Ole Miss team, they were right there. They lost by one score to Arkansas, so they were playing pretty well down the stretch. What do you see with Mississippi State? Is Leach's motivation, does it transfer over to the team against Texas Tech? This is 7-5 against 6-6. I'm trying here. I'm looking for an angle, please.
Yeah. Not moving the needle too much, but I think for them, I know people wrote, some people don't read, but I actually love Leach's personality. I think he's a funny guy when he gets going about the candy corn and everything. And I don't know how much of a motivator he is, though. I don't know. I think that'd be the tricky part for me, but I think in this situation, especially with the way that quarterback is playing, and you watch the way Texas Tech's quarterback has been playing, I think all things point to Mississippi State to win this game, just simply from the quarterback play alone. And Coach Leach is going to have a big part to doing that. And in these offenses, the way he runs his offense, it's not much variety, but he switches it up and switches the formations. And Rodgers just played well this year.
State's 10.5-point favorite, so you got to lay some lumber here today to take Mississippi State. You say you like Leach's personality, right? Mm-hmm. And he's fun to watch in a press conference, right?
Yeah.
Would you want him coaching your team?
No way, Jose. No parts of that. I don't want no parts of that. I think for me, just watching his track record, it's just, I don't know. I think I'm spoiled being an LSU fan my whole life, watching us win championships, watching us win the SEC. I don't strike him as a guy that can go out and do that daunting task. I don't know if he slay that giant, slay that dragon. And for me, that's the only point of doing this. Like, we're doing this to win championships. We're doing this to win the SEC. We're doing this to win the SEC West. I don't know if that guy is capable of doing that, especially at a program like Mississippi State. So I'm going to have to pass on Coach Leach.
See, Leach is a really fun guy for college football. And I kind of feel like you. He's really fun to watch coach somebody else's team. Okay? Yeah. Kind of feel the same way about Lane Kiffin. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think Lane Kiffin's good for college football.
Mm-hmm.
I think his teams are fun as hell to watch. Do I want to coach my team? No, not really. I could do without the drama. And just to prove that I'm not, just saying this because he's a coach somewhere else, I felt that way about Les Miles for a lot of the time. Jimmy tells a great story about going up to Oxford for one of the LSU Ole Miss games near the end for Les, and it was being talked about that he was going to get fired. And the Ole Miss fans were just livid, telling Jimmy, how can you fire that coach? He's won this many games, won a national championship. How could you possibly fire that coach? And Jimmy says, well, after we fire him, you guys are about to fire your coach. You want to hire him? Oh, no. No. So it's that list of coaches that, hey, man, they're fun. It's, it's like painting your car goofy colors. Like, okay, man, that's interesting what you did with that design. I'm not going to drive it, okay? But I think that's the way Leach is. It's gimmicky, but he's coached at some gimmicky places. He's had success at Texas Tech and Washington State, and some success at Mississippi State. Do I think he's ever going to win a championship there? No, but I don't know that there's people out there going to be drastically more successful than him that Mississippi State could realistically hire. Works for me. That is a 5:45 start against Texas Tech. That's the Liberty Bowl, and it looks like Auburn has taken the lead. TJ Finley with a touchdown pass. They're going to look at this again, but I think he's got a foot in easy. Yeah. So that is going to stand, and Auburn is going to have their first lead of the day against Houston. The extra point to come. It is.
You got the left one in.
Yeah.
You got the left one in.
I gotta see where his foot.
Left one in.
Yes.
Left one in.
Yeah. Okay. So Auburn's gonna have the lead for the first time. Take a break here. Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hunt Palmer, Jeremy Hill, Hunt and Hill. Our
Joe J. here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic.
It's the end of the year, and it's time to reevaluate your budget, vendors, partnerships, and the health of your building. Is your building as clean and healthy as you want it to be? Do you know what clean is? Do you know what a healthy building is? We do. We're Janie King, the king of clean, and we've been cleaning and disinfecting the Gulf Coast for over 30 years. We clean over 50 million square feet every night. Janie King Gulf Coast currently cleans over 4,000 businesses, buildings, hospitals, offices, and venues with a 99.99%.
We thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, We're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Get ready for LSU Auburn. It's going down on the Plains. Plus, our guy Matt Flynn stops by for some flustering and a brand new Would You Rather Wednesday. Off the bench, 7 to 10 a.m., 104.5 ESPN.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Auburn coming back with a interception that they have returned inside the Houston 30. Cougars actually had made a big play to open the drive, get themselves up near midfield. But that after a penalty pushed them back, he really airmailed this ball. Wow, he missed his receiver by 6 feet, and Auburn's going to take advantage of this. So this is they have the lead now for the first time, and they have the football with a chance to add to that lead. 13-10, Auburn, 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter from the Birmingham Bowl. Some feedback. You're monitoring the chat here, so we need to give them a little bit. There's not a lot of love for Tua in the chat today.
Not a lot of love for Tua in the chat. There's some people in the Bayou 4 chat saying Tua's going to be Joe Burrow's backup in a few years here. I don't know if you're too far off. I think you heard all those rumors of him being possibly traded and them trying to get in that quarterback market. Normally, if you take a quarterback in the top 5, you're not in the quarterback market, 2 years after that. So it lets you know how the higher-ups feel about that pick. I think at the time, the way he was playing at Alabama, just the numbers he's putting up, it's easy to get caught up in all that stuff. But for me, I think the eye test can never go wrong. You just watch a guy play. You just watch what they're doing. And you just look at the talent he had on that roster. You got Najee Harris as a running back, first-round pick. You got 4 first-round receivers. You got offensive linemen out the wazoo. I don't know how difficult that task was. And I think for me, I just look at him and I see a guy that's not very big. He already has a lot of injury history trouble that he's already dealt with. So can he take a pounding throughout a whole NFL season and get himself off the mat and continue to win games for your football team? I don't think that's been determined yet. And I think for me, this 8-game winning streak that they're on, it's not many talented football teams that have been on that list. They beat a lot of bad football teams, and COVID's helped them out a lot, especially last night. So I'm not sold on Tua. He could prove me wrong. I don't think I'd be jumping for joy if he does, but I don't know. I'm not sold on Tua.
Whose career if I had to pick one career path that Tua will end up with, I would probably give you Tyrod Taylor. Mm-hmm. Taylor has been a part-time starter. He's run into some bad luck. Physically limited, okay, doesn't have the monster arm, kind of like Tua. He's a little bit bigger than Tua, though. He's certainly a little bit thicker, but he's an older player now. Had a very good career at Virginia Tech and has carved himself out a very nice living and a very nice career in the league, but is not a star. And the difference between what is expected of Tua and what was expected of Tyrod Taylor, it couldn't be a bigger gap. Tua's a top 5 pick. Taylor was I'm trying to remember. I want to say a 4th-round pick or something like that. Whatever it wasn't top 5. So if Tua, you look at Tyrod Taylor, who has made the most of his opportunities, and like I say, he's run into some bad luck and has carved out a really nice career. You say, okay, that was a nice career for Tyrod Taylor. But if Tua has that exact same career, he'll be labeled a bust because of the expectations going in. Fair or not, that's what comes when you get drafted that high. You get plenty of money, plenty of notoriety, and your expectation level is just that much higher.
Yeah, I think so. I think it always goes to expectations. I think for Ian Book last night, if Ian Book was a first-round pick that the Saints traded up their future to go get, and you play like that, you're like, what in the world are the Saints doing? But since it's a late-round pick and, when it wasn't really expected to play, those expectations aren't there. I think for Tua, you draft a quarterback that high, you want to see some division titles. You want to see some playoff pushes. You want to see them challenge to get his team to a Super Bowl. That's a daunting task. I think for me, you want to see your quarterback in the top 15 in the league and progressing and getting better year by year. Tua has some time. He could prove me wrong, but I just don't see it. He doesn't strike me as a guy that puts fear in defensive coordinators like, man, like, how are we going to stop Tua Tagovailoa today? Like, that kid is amazing. I just don't see that with him.
Tyrod Taylor was actually a 6th-round pick and has played now for 5 different NFL teams. And in 10 years in the league, he started 53 games and thrown 60 touchdown passes. Okay. Again, this is not star-level stuff. But Tyrod, how much money do you think Tyrod Taylor's made in 10 years in the league as a quarterback?
I'd venture to say over $50 million.
I think so. I think it's well over $50 million. And
I'll tell you.
Okay, but so for a 6th-round pick, you go out there, you make $50 million, man. Congratulations. Somebody needs to throw this guy a parade. But if you're the 5th pick in the draft and you just get all of that money up front and you end up only starting on average 5 games a year in your career, well, then no. It's not nearly going to be that expectation.
$59 million for Tyrod Taylor.
$59 million.
Not a bad gig. Not a bad. Like I say, man, quarterbacks, they don't have a bad gig, especially the guys who can hold the clipboard and make $5 or $6 million on the bench, like my boy Chase Daniel has done for a decade. I feel like
Chase Daniel has cashed a lot of checks. Roughly $1 million, a little over $1 million a start for Tyrod Taylor.
It's not a bad gig. That's not a bad gig at all.
No, I just like they've had $1 million for every game you started.
Man,
it would have been a nice paycheck, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that at all.
What else they got in the Bayou Ford chat?
Let's see.
They were ragging on Tuscaloosa. Not that that's unusual. But,
they're on the food and a little Joe Burrow praise. I'll never pass up on little Joe Burrow praise. That's nothing I'll ever pass up on. Shout out Joey B, man.
We were having a discussion last night about where do you have Burrow right now? Right now. We like to put them in quarter tiers, top 8, the 9 to 16. So which tier do you have him in?
Oh, he's on the verge. I don't want to sound too homer biased, but I'm going top 8. I'm going top 8 right now. Right now, because this is the way I look at it. I look at it, this is a weird way to look at it, but this is the way I look at it. Give me a fantasy draft. We're in an order. First pick, who you taking? I don't think Joe Burrow gets out the top 10. I think a lot of GMs, a lot of people would hitch their wagon to that kid, just watching how he's changed that Bengals organization, who earned that number 1 pick for a very good reason. And now he has him atop the AFC North, which no one predicted before the season. No one's like, you know what? The Bengals are winning the AFC North. That's the team. Not when you see what the Steelers defense did. Not when you got Lamar Jackson in that division. And this Browns team before the season was getting all the hype in the world with that roster they had. So I think Joe Burrow's showing the world just who he is as a quarterback, and to me, I gotta have him in my top 8.
Okay, then let me run it head to head against some of the guys that you're talking about, because I think we're gonna agree the top 3 quarterbacks in the league: Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, in whatever order you want to put them in. Anybody else in that tier? Russell Wilson.
There's some guys that's fallen out. Like, I think Russell's out of that tier now. I think the way he's played this year, obviously, you just look at his whole career. Yes, you can put him in there, but if you're looking at how they're playing right now, I don't know if I can put Russell in that top 5.
Josh Allen.
He's been up and down, but I think you can put him in the top 8.
Matthew Stafford.
Who would I rather have? I'd rather have Joey B, though. That's his
okay. We're talking about one game or the rest of this season. We're not talking about, obviously, you would take Burrow over Brady because Burrow's going to play for another, however long, and Brady's somewhere near the end. I would think.
Who knows?
But would you take Burrow or Wilson right now?
Give me Joe.
You would take Burrow.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
Give me Joe all day. One thing with a quarterback, and I've played a lot of football. My quarterback is not accurate. It's going to drive me insane. I love the athleticism. I love it, but the accuracy, man, that bothers me. And then
I'm just trying to give the guy his due. He won an MVP, and everybody's
just going by how they're playing right now today.
Right now today. Okay. Justin Herbert.
No. Too up and down for my liking. Too up and down. I guess you could make a case, Joe. He's been a little up and down, but I think the way he's playing right now and the way he has his team in the head of his division, I got to go Joey B over Herbert. I'm sorry.
Dak Prescott.
Joey B all day. Joey B all day. Joey B has not had a slump like Dak's had. Dak had a 6-week stretch where it just was not pretty football. Just not very good. That defense carried that team, and I don't think you can say the Bengals defense has carried Joe this year. So I'll go Joey B over Dak.
Kyler Murray.
Ooh, I got to go Kyler. I'm sorry. I got to go Kyler. Kyler's had a little tail off here, and he's done that his last 2 seasons towards the end of the year. It hasn't been as prolific and explosive as he started the season. It had some stretches during the middle of the season, but Kyler's a different athlete, man. I would have to go Kyler in that situation.
These are the guys, that the top 3 I think are easy, and then after that, I think that between 3 and 12, okay, the difference between Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, overall, you could make a case either way.
Yeah.
Burrow is in that. He's in that category.
Yep.
We'll take a break here and come back, wrap things up. Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is Hunt and Hill on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Brake Medics, man. Oh, Brake Medics has got their amazing free quotes today. All you got to do is go to their website right now. You put your make, year, and model of your vehicle, and whatever brake symptoms your vehicle may be dealing with, they have all those options on the website for you. You just punch all that information in, and they will get back to you with a free quote today. They have amazing deals going on right now. $199 for a single axis and $379 for a front and rear axis. And it's not just the patch. You guys are getting pads and rotors all the way around with a 24-month, 24,000 mile nationwide warranty on that at brakemedics.com. Log in today for a free quote.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Dr. Monica Stevens, Ph.D., Assistant Professor of Psychiatry at the Tulane School of Medicine, on the great need for the new Louisiana Methodist Children's Home in Tangipahoa Parish.
I fully stand behind the Louisiana Methodist Children's Home. They fill a critical need in the state with regard to kids that have the most serious behavioral health and social emotional concerns.
The new home will provide abused and neglected children with the care they need to become productive and healthy citizens. Go to
One Hospital, Auctioneer.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. The place is going to be convenient for you during that inconvenient time, and it's even more convenient now. Now you have 8 convenient locations, with the Bruley location just opening up. So go check them out online, patientplusuc.com, because remember, they are your place for your sniffles, for your colds, for your stitches, for your COVID test. They have all that available over at Patient Plus. For more information, visit them at patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Saban office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Saban have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Hunt and Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
13-10, Auburn leading Houston now early in the fourth quarter. Houston on a drive down inside the 40-yard line for Auburn. Looks like it will be a close game all the way down to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. That's going to be a close one. It's going to be on TJ Finley's shoulders. I think Houston's probably going to go down and maybe not. I don't know. I thought they were about to go down and score. It's a big
looking
third
at
down.
Third and 8.
Third and 8. Let's see.
From the 34-yard line of Auburn. We'll do some Pirate play-by-play here. And that throws off the receiver's hands and incomplete. So it's going to be fourth down and 8. We had a question about Belichick's New Year's resolution question.
Yes,
Did you see this?
Yes, I did see it. I did see it. He said, what did he say?
Well, so to set it up for those that didn't see the clip, this reporter who was doing a kind of a lifestyle feature piece, just kind of a personal insight to people, was doing a story on New Year's resolutions. And she asked Bill Belichick after they lost, and she set it up. I mean, you could almost tell she's just like, I know this football coach can only – Coach, do you have any New Year's resolutions? And I'll give Belichick credit for taking enough time to pause to calm down whatever internal volcano was about to explode before he said, not right now.
Look, that's Bill, man. Look, he hates it. I think his skin is boiling when he has to sit through those stupid press conferences, and especially after a loss. It's just it doesn't help you win football games. It's just everything with him is about helping this team win football games.
If it doesn't help the team win a football game, it's a nuisance, right?
Yeah, it's a nuisance. It's a distraction. It's something that's got to not help us, and he coaches us, I think, I wouldn't say equally, but he coaches us pretty hard on how to handle the media and how to handle their questions, and he just doesn't like it. Just I guess I would love to hear someone try to make that argument. How does that help you win football games? Because I think it helps the fans, it gets the fans intrigued and all that stuff. But I think that's all it does.
Well, the fans do pay the bills.
Yeah,
so you gotta.
It's about the fans.
Yes,
it's about the fans.
I mean, this is what this is the product that you put out that they're paying for. So but I understand the other side of it too. If all we're being judged on is winning football games, then don't make me do anything that's not going to win a football game. That's that was the football versus business line. The line out of North Dallas 40. He was arguing with the owner. He says, every time I call it a game, you call it a business, and every time I call it a business, you call it a game. Well, it's
one and the same, baby.
What he had to deal with. All right, let's circle back around to what we led the show with, which was the Dolphins win over the Saints. Jeremy, if I was Mickey Loomis last night, there would have been one thing going through my mind watching this game, and that thought would have been, what am I going to do with Jameis Winston? Because you've seen it now play out. They do not have another starting NFL quarterback on this roster besides Jameis Winston. Taysom Hill is not a starting NFL quarterback. Trevor Siemian is not an NFL starting quarterback. And we saw last night that Ian Book's time in the league is not going to be long for the world. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy to say I'm wrong. It's just what I saw last night. So that leaves you with Winston, or then you got to go outside the building. Winston has signed 2 one-year contracts. I don't think he would sign a third. I think he feels like he's done enough to warrant a longer-term deal. Not a top-of-the-market longer-term deal. He's not going to get what Wilson gets if Wilson gets traded from Seattle. What would you be thinking right now if you are the Saints management about, am I going to go forward long-term with Winston, or am I going to go outside the building to find my next quarterback? Because if it's not Winston, he's not here.
I think if I'm Mickey and the crew, I know Saints fans aren't going to like to hear this, but I'm getting a trade package with Michael Thomas in it, so I'm going to get my quarterback. Not signing Jameis again. I'm not drafting one. I'm getting a proven commodity like they did with Drew Brees, and I'm going to get my guy. I'm pretty sure Michael Thomas isn't enjoying his time in New Orleans and isn't having a blast right now. So give him grant his wishes. You can still get something for him. He's a young receiver in this league, and I think I go get my quarterback with that. Maybe I got to put a 3rd-round pick or maybe a 2nd-round pick with that, but I'm going to get a proven quarterback, whether that's Deshaun Watson, whether that's Russell Wilson. I'm going to get a proven guy.
First of all, Drew Brees wasn't Drew Brees when the Saints got him. He was more of a kind of a Kirk Cousins, okay, when they first got him, and he, obviously the Hall of Fame career after that. The cost of a proven number 1 quarterback, and I think there will be 2 on the market. We're talking about proven upper level quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and that could easily decrease by 1 or 2 because it's going to be hell to get those guys out of Green Bay and Seattle without a compensation package. Or you're talking about 3 number 1 picks and something. 3 number 1s and a 4, 3 number 1s and a player, something along those lines. That is an enormous price to pay. After that, who are your other options? And for the moment, I do not see a rookie quarterback for next year in this draft that could come in and do what Burrow or Herbert did last year, or that Mac Jones is doing this year. Maybe Kenny Pickett at Pitt, but I can't tell you that for sure. So after that, who's really on the market? Watson is a complete wild card. He's a top tier quarterback when he is available. Who knows when he's going to be available again and what the circumstances are there. So let's take him off the board for the moment. Who else is available?
There's not much. I'm looking at the free agent market for next year. There's the normal culprits that's normally on there. Tyrod Taylor, your boy, Teddy Bridgewater, Marcus Mariota, Mitchell Trubisky, Andy Dalton. It's just, I think the Saints, they're always in a win now mentality. You see them, they kick the can down the road with their salary cap every year. That means you're trying to win now. So I don't know if you win now with any of these quarterbacks, or maybe you go Big Ben.
He's going to retire.
Yeah,
he needs to retire.
Yeah,
God bless. He's a great player, but man, he's got a lot of miles on him.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of miles. He's taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think you got to go trade for a guy that you can do, and I think you just got to bite that bullet. I think if you don't mind having a losing season, maybe you tank for Bryce Young or something like that. But I really don't see their options. I think their hands are pretty tied here. I think the only maybe if Jameis wants to come back, but I don't know how confident you feel in going and doing what the Saints want to do with that.
Let me give you some realistic targets that they could bring in without having to give up 3 number 1s, assuming that Wilson and Rodgers, that just doesn't happen. Okay, they don't have the cap room, they don't have the draft picks. I think you could pry Jimmy Garoppolo out of San Francisco for less than a 1st-round pick, considerably less than a 1st-round pick. They are ready to move on. They have already drafted his replacement. He is now out for, I don't know if it's the year, but he's torn something in his hand. So he has been injury prone. But when he's played, he's been a very effective quarterback. So would you rather have Jameis Winston that you would sign to, let's say, a 4-year deal, or would you make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo?
See, I don't know, man.
This is what's available to you. Everybody would like to have Aaron Rodgers, but Jimmy Garoppolo is what you can maybe realistically get.
That's a tough one, man. We've seen Jimmy get to a Super Bowl, but I saw him get to a Super Bowl with 7 pass attempts in a NFC Championship game.
The defense did play well that day. Yeah.
You ran the ball down their throat. So I don't know if Jimmy does that for me. I've seen Jimmy have his moments. I saw Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl up 20-10 and choke that lead and lose in the Super Bowl. So I think I don't know if that's going to get Saints fans out of their seats. But it's a realistic option though.
Okay, it's what you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sam Darnold. You could probably pry out of Carolina.
Yeah, this is why these guys are available though. These are guys that if the GMs felt like I'm going to hitch my wagon to this kid, my kid's futures depend on this, their college tuitions, look, they'd be hitching them to Sam Darnold, but they're not. There's a reason why some of these guys are going to be available. And do you think Mickey Loomis is going to hitch his wagon to that? I know he's had to do what he had to do with Jameis Winston, especially with the cap situation. But
last name.
All right,
Baker Mayfield.
Oh my goodness, that's Taylor Sharp's guy right there. That's honestly, I wouldn't if you tried out Teron Armstead, you tried out Ryan Ramczyk, you get those guys back. Maybe you get Michael Thomas back. You got Kamara. You'll probably draft the tight end. I think that's
somewhere in Mickey Loomis's head. There's a list that includes Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. That's the list, man. Love for it to be Rodgers, but get that done. All right, Mario Musso coming up here next. For Jeremy Hill, I'm Charles Hanniger sitting in for Hunt Palmer. This has been Hunt Hill, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.